Continuing on our Seasons podcast with me, RIBEA ELISE. Today I want us to focus on the 4 seasons in our relationship journey. The 4 seasons that introduces you to your relationship partner. The 4 seasons that acknowledges your relationship's responsibility. The 4 seasons that for me, RIBEA ELISE, on my journey were introduced and led me to my 22nd year in marriage. The seasons that introduces seasons. The seasons that does not only introduce you to your marriage partner, but that walks the marriage journey in acknowledgement to you that are being introduced to your marriage partner. And today, when you do not feel the way that you felt 22 years ago when you met your partner in marriage, then the introduction, like I've mentioned in one of our podcasts, with the commitment journey, the journey that says in responsibility. And when you were introduced to your partner 22 years ago, you are me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, and you celebrated like I have celebrated my 21st birthday in Dubai. And you realize the acknowledgement that you share in the journey when you have to acknowledge someone else in it. When you have to acknowledge the 4 seasons that brought you to your 22-year vow. And while we can read commitment vows on our journey in year by year by year in how we are responsible with walking the journey hand in hand with your marriage or relationship partner, the commitment that are acknowledged in the 4 seasons are therefore the introduction that you and your marriage partner allows yourselves to be once again introduced to one another on the journey. That though the journey, as we've mentioned in one of our relationship podcasts in the year 2021, that though the journey brought you and your partner to stay under one roof, then the vow to be introduced to one another becomes the journey that are before us again. And they are then therefore acknowledged in the 4 seasons. The winter season, the spring season, the autumn season, the summer season. The winter season, the spring season after that, the autumn season before winter season, and then therefore your summer season. The journey to be introduced on your journey becomes your winter season, your spring season, your autumn season, and your summer season. It does not become your winter season, your spring season, your summer season, and your autumn season. It becomes your winter season, your spring season, your autumn season before that again, and then therefore the new introduction that are your summer season. That are then therefore your winter season introduction again. And there are the introduction that are acknowledged in the journey that you walk in your marriage relationship responsibility. And then 22 years later, in acknowledgement, a 21st birthday celebration, in acknowledgement to a 22-year marriage vow celebration. Becomes the baby. The baby in acknowledgement to the season that have produced seasons. And I remember giving birth to my first daughter in Auckland, New Zealand, 22 years ago. And I remember being in South Africa 22 years ago and realizing that I'm pregnant. When the doctor said you are pregnant, I remember the excitement. And I remember how limited my excitement felt. And today while I'm sitting in Auckland, New Zealand, and I feel so limited once again. I remember how excited I was when the doctors say that you are pregnant. I remember my husband already being on his way to New Zealand. And I remember his response were limiting my excitement. I don't know if you heard that the Bible says in Genesis 1, the excitement in the womb. And on the 7th day, when the baby are born, the excitement. And while my excitement once again feels so limited, feels so in the boundary lines of disregarding all that you were introduced to. When you are me, Queen RIBEA ELISE in the womb, and you have for 20 years been introduced to so much, and you have to disregard it as if it was nothing. God bless baby Tanika that was born, that could have still been with us on earth. My first daughter. God bless the acknowledgement. And for you to feel limited, and when governmental officials play on your marriage vow and they make you feel limited in your country, and your household circumstances are that you feel so limited, and your husband works so hard and he yet feels so limited. And a marriage vow for certain governmental leaders has become almost like nothing on this earth, when half of the earth's countries look almost like nothing. And then the intermarriage vow that we now say in these years cannot be treated like nothing. And when we learn to take a responsibility, and when me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, learn to acknowledge all that my journey have wombed, and people want to disregard me in it the whole time, and I have to hold on to the communication line, because it's not only a computerized vote business office, no. It's not only a computer that's satellite by you, Ryko RIBEA, somewhere in a computer satellite by American Star Television Communications. It's all that this part of you in the journey has given birth to. And when humanity teach themselves to break it down, and they teach themselves daily to break it down like bombing someone in a war country, when parliamentary leaders teach themselves to break your vow that you were introduced and acknowledging down, and then you have to learn to hold on to it. And when you have to learn to hold on to it, then you become the baby that has to learn to walk again. And when you acknowledge in it so greatly, and you find yourself that the love part of the universe, that are you are me, Queen RIBEA ELISE in the womb, me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, are the love part of the universe. And when I have to find myself so much in it, and it's so invested within you, and you have to find yourself in it like a drunken human being in your journey, then the acknowledgement that you say in your journey becomes so sensitive. It becomes so sensitive. When it introduces so greatly. I can tell you a 22-year marriage vow are not a joke, my child. it introduces greatly. Let me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, tell you, it is not what looks like love that I love on this earth. Much hatred I found, love walks next to hatred in the birth womb. It is not what looks like love. There are love in all that we are introduced to in our journeys. And I've learned that the hatred walks next to love, questioning love in all that humanity experience and have learned on. And when hatred questions you, then hatred are so part of you. Hatred are then yet so in love with you that no one in this whole universe wants to feel deserted. And when your vow have birthed and given birth to so much greatness, in your journey, I meet Queen RIBEA ELISE's 22-year marriage vow. And then her 21st birthday was not a joke. And then the introduction shared in the birthday womb are in all acknowledgement. No matter how your marriage might seem to you or to someone else, but I promise you the introduction gives birth to so much greatness. The introduction gives birth to so much greatness. Allow yourself to once again be introduced. Because we live on a journey that introduces us. We live on a journey in the universe womb that introduces us. We live on a journey being human beings on this earth in a universe womb that introduces us. And when you feel like all has been taken away from you, then learn to allow yourself to be introduced once again. Me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, being the love part of the universe in my birth womb, and no one's joke, it introduces greatly. Allow yourself to once again be introduced on the journey. The journey of 4 seasons. 4 seasons introduces greatly in acknowledgement. And when you feel that your love or relationship partner, or that your relationship are not where you and your partner have to be at in its season, and you are me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, and it was 22 years, then allow yourself to once again be introduced on your journey. We live in a birth womb that are me, Queen RIBEA ELISE, the love part of the universe, and it introduces constantly. There's not a moment that it does not introduce. There's not a moment that it does not produce fruit. There's not a moment that it does not produce greatness in its acknowledgement. I say my Queen Mom Universe on a George Philander's introduction. We call it the great curry cup in our hands. And when our Queen Mom Universe and a George Philander house children in our South African house had the acknowledgement to be introduced to our mama, that our Queen Mom Universe center part of the universe. And the curry cup was in our hands. And we had the excitement to walk the journey with our mama, parenting in great acknowledgement. then it's a chance of a lifetime, my dear. And when you realize that Mama Universe are at your doorstep, and that Mama Universe are now actually your mama, and that you now actually born in the greatness in it, and that the earth are born in a certain way, and that the palace family line are Anna for a reason. A Queen Mom Universe Anna George Philander Home School of Color Afrikaans Duitse translation, a school communication that builds greatly for a reason. And the Curry Cup is celebrated in a Rugby World Cup, and it was in your hand. Then you do not miss the chance of a lifetime. And allowing yourself to be once again introduced are to not miss the chance of a lifetime. To come to the realization that we are born on earth in a certain way, and that in all greatness my mama are the Queen Mom Universe center part of the womb. In all greatness, I only now realize it while I sit in New Zealand, but it was a great journey and no one complains. And South Africa celebrated it, and all the sports teams were around my mama, Queen Mom Universe, Anna George Philander, and me, Queen RIBEA Elise, a young daughter, and I look at the excitement. And I say, but why are the sports teams so excited? The Curry Cup are in our hands. And in 2020, me and my brother King Jacques Philander had a great time in South Africa. And we said, with King Anton, with King Martin, and we realized, but our mama's parenting. Have you seen our mama's parenting? And half of them realized and could not tell me for certain specific legislative reasons. And the Curry Cup was in our hands. And in all great love acknowledgement, me, Queen RIBEA Elise, the love part of the universe. Allowing yourself to once again be introduced again. To once again be introduced to you in the womb again. Apostrophe the introduction. May we never lose sight of a love, my dear. Me, Queen RIBEA, is being the love part of the universe. And there's one life lesson that I've walked with on this journey, and it is that I never lose sight of love. I always look at who are interested in me, who loves me so dearly the way that I love myself, who are rightly to be acknowledged next to me in the marriage vow, in the relationship vow. And I always allowed myself to never lose sight of love. While it are within me, can someone next to me feel the way that I feel about me? Never lose sight of the love within you, within your marriage partner, within your relationship vow. Never lose sight of it. And that are it with me, RIBEA Elise, with our relationship seasons, with our acknowledgement, with our vow of commitment. And the scroll is written, and the marriage vow of commitment once again opened. And once again new families are intermarried on earth, the Bible says, well as in the heavens. And once again families are walking through. And once again the vow love are being introduced. And the vow love shared The vow love that introduces and that produces fruits in all acknowledgement. The vow love.